What's going on, guys? Gomes here, back again on another MLB The Show 20 video. As we said today, we are just 54 measly days away from the release of MLB 20, a little under 2 months. I'm very excited. I want to talk about Road to the Show today. Haven't talked about it all that much. Believe it or not, it's still the most played, the most popular game mode every year in MLB The Show, and I think it is in need of a massive overhaul. You know, there's a lot of stuff that is missing. I really liked what they did the last couple years. For example, the personality traits, I thought they nailed the archetype system. There's still some more work that they can do, and today we're going to talk about that. Let me know what you guys would like to see as new features in Road to the Show for MLB The Show 20 down below in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on this video. As always, if you guys do enjoy, the best way to support the channel, subscribe if you're new, almost at 18,000, and also I should be live streaming twitch.tv/GomesDaLegend. I don't know what time. It's going to be down in the description. I think probably like 9 Eastern. So be on the lookout for that. But I'm going to get out of here. Let's get on. The first thing I want to talk about for Road to the Show is a brand new origin story. This is the biggest and the most challenging thing I'm probably going to talk about. You guys all know. I'm showing you right here the Bowman Scout Day. It's old. It's tired. I think it's been in here since... I think ever since the PS4, so MLB 14, the show, that's, what, 6 years? It's a long-ass time. It doesn't happen, actually. It's not a real thing. It just happens in the game. I want to see something new. I want to talk about high school first, because this would be the easier of the two rounds. Now, high school, of course, is going to require no licensing, because you don't have to use real high schools. You can just say, it's a high school in the Bronx, it's a high school in Nevada, something like that. You don't have to list specific schools, so it's going to be easy that way. And what you would do is just, you know, play a couple high school games. Obviously, I wouldn't expect you to play a whole high school season, because that could get kind of tired and kind of boring as well. You know, if you think about it, a lot of MLB players, look at the draft results. I was surprised by how many players come out of high school. You know, there is a lot. It does happen. That could be a perfect origin story. You're a very highly touted prospect in high school, and you get drafted from there. There doesn't have to be a Bowman Scout Day, which doesn't happen in real life. It can be something new, and, you know, maybe you win a championship, and that's going to really set you out. You're a really, like I said, you're a big prospect. You're a really big name in high school baseball. You go #1, or you're a first round pick. Usually that doesn't happen in the current Road to the Show system, and it could be interesting like that. Now, I don't say we have to have a fully blown story mode like a 2K kind of thing. I don't really want that because a lot of times I think it misses the mark on other parts of the career mode, and it more so is kind of like a playable cutscene, kind of like the Mad Long Shot. I don't want that. If there can be college too, that would be great. This is going to be harder, obviously, because you have to have licenses, because you wouldn't want generic colleges, or at least I probably wouldn't. You know, you can kind of go the route that Madden and 2K have went. The QB won their career mode in Madden 20 this year. There's a selection of colleges. I think there's 12. I'll throw them on the screen right now. Pretty big schools, of course. And then I know the long shot they had a couple years ago. I think it was the Texas Longhorns and the Oregon Ducks. Then 2K a couple years back did something where they had colleges. They could do the exact same thing. Get maybe 4 or 5 colleges. That would be a good start. You don't have to get a whole bunch of them. Let's say if you get 4, you pick one team, you play 3 games against the other teams, and then you're drafted. Something like that would be pretty fun. And if you do get colleges, I think you can also do high school and have them work in tandem. Start in high school, pick your college, and then go on and get drafted to the MLB. Like I said, this is going to be challenging, especially the college route, but I would love to see it, especially just something new to start off a Road to the Show. Next up, this is going to be kind of an online feature. This is connected Road to the Show, kind of something like Madden has done in the past with their connected careers, and this would kind of fall in line with online franchise, so we'll talk about that in just a second. But essentially what this is it would be a league where you and some buddies or some people are all in a league together. You all have your Road to the Show players, and it's all in one universe. It's not like, oh yeah, well I hit this many home runs runs in mine, how many did you hit in yours. You can play against each other, or you can match up against each other's characters. I think that would be a lot of fun. You know, like I said, it would kind of fall in line with online franchise, and we don't know the fate of that yet. We talked about it in the franchise video, but the whole issue with that was apparently the servers. It was too taxing, and it hurt Diamond Dynasty, which obviously is their cash cow. Obviously, that's what they really want to focus on, and I get it, you know, for the most part. But still, I can't really believe that it's that stressful on the servers, because they said not that many people play it. I can't believe it's that taxing. Maybe we'll see it. If we don't see it in MLB 20, I think we'll see it in 21. That's, of course, where we're going to see MLB The Show 21 on Xbox, Nintendo Switch, possibly PC as well. At that point, they're getting additional external revenue from their sources in, you know, having the game on other platforms from them. So maybe that'll be enough money to where they can get better servers and we can have online franchise back. They said not a whole lot of people play it. I think it's going to make more people want to play it now that it's been gone for 2 and maybe 3 years at this point. This would be a very cool feature that we've seen in past baseball games, past sports games that kind of went away from it, and that is having a crib or an apartment. I remember the 2K baseball games used to do that. I think 2K5 did it, was the last one. I'm not exactly sure on that number. I think 2K8 had it as well, because I remember playing that game. Madden Superstar had that. I guess 2K kind of has it now where you have your own court. But 2K games back in the day was really what started it all. The MLB, the NFL, and the NHL as well. All of them kind of have this crib, and it's a place where you can hang out when you're not playing games. Right now in Road to the Show, you're stuck in the locker room. I don't know about you, but they're making millions of dollars. I don't think you live in the locker room. I don't think you have a pull-out bed in your locker and you sleep there. You probably have your own place. So I think it would add to the realism, and then you can decorate it with stuff that, say, if you win an MVP trophy, you can have a trophy case and you can show off your accomplishments, and that say, you know, it's kind of weird because they, in a sense, have something like it. You have your room when you're creating your Road to the Show player. Do something like that. The assets are clearly already there. Build on that instead of just being in the locker room, which is not bad necessarily. It's still cool to see, especially as you work your way from AA to AAA to MLB. It progressively gets a lot nicer, but that doesn't really happen. I'd love to have my own place to decorate how I want and build up as my accomplishments go on throughout my career. Next up, this is a pretty big feature in my opinion, and that's a fix to the very abrupt position changes that oftentimes don't make a whole lot of sense. Yes, this does happen in real life. Think about when A-Rod went to the Yankees. Even though A-Rod was the better shortstop than Derek Jeter, his pride would not allow him to move to third base. A-Rod would have to. That at least still makes sense. If you have a shortstop, he can probably play third base. He could probably play second base as well. You'll see sometimes where you have an outfielder moving 2 spots in the infield because your coach says, well, we need you to. You got to step up. When there's other players that would more likely be able to do that, that doesn't make sense. For one, I made this Road to the Show player this position because I kind of want to play this position. If I pick a right fielder, that doesn't mean I want to play second base. And I get it. If you're a center fielder and you have to move to the corners because you got somebody new or somebody got hurt, that makes sense. If you're a third baseman and you have to move to first, that makes sense because they're familiar positions. That's a big problem. I see a lot of people complaining about it, and I really think it needs to be fixed for MLB 20. This would be a lot of fun. I think this is a great new feature that they could add in MLB 20. That's endorsement deals. You know, you have an agent, and what he could do is he could work to get you a deal with some of the major brands that are in MLB The Show. Think Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, New Balance, and then of course there's other ones that you know, kind of make specific equipment such as Evo Shield or Louisville Slugger, and there's a lot of implications that this could do for your Road to the Show player. What I thought of is, let's say you sign a deal with Nike. You can get all the silver tier, the lowest tiered equipment for your Road to the Show player. That of course helps your attributes, and as you're with the company longer and as you do better, you can get the gold equipment and the diamond equipment. I think that would be so cool. You know, it would help you get stubs for Diamond Dynasty or something, but that's just more incentive to play Road to the Show. I don't see a problem with that. And I just think it would be so cool. Once again, this is all about adding to the realism of how it would be to be an MLB superstar, signing an endorsement deal. Think about Bryce Harper with Under Armour, or Mike Trout with Nike. Maybe you could have a thing where you can design your own cleats once you're at the tip top of the company. That would be super cool. But you could also have something where if, you know, you can select the equipment that you wear. You don't have to wear the brand that you were sponsored to. But if you don't wear it, then you lose your sponsorship with them. I think it would be so much fun. I really hope that's something new that they add. With the contract system, a no trade clause is a pretty missing feature in my opinion. This is something that happens in baseball, and especially with Road to the Show, how you get traded a good amount of times even when you don't. Let's say you really want to be with the Chicago Cubs, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, because this is something that happened in my specific situation. I was a back-to-back two-time MVP my first 2 years in the league, and our team was in first place all 3 years. The first 2 that I won MVP, and the current season I was on, and I got dealt. I got traded for prospects. Tell me how that makes sense. I was gonna win my 3rd straight MVP. We were in first place once again, best record in the MLB. I'm traded for prospects. What world, what planet would that happen in? Something that you can do to avoid that if you're really good, or if you've been with the team for a long time, or maybe you just want to add it into your contract, see if they'll let you get a no trade clause so that doesn't happen. It's realistic, and it would be more fun if you want to stick with one team, you're able to, and you're not subject to some bullshit, trade system. And the last thing I quickly want to talk about, this is a definite pipe dream. It's online multiplayer. There's been a lot of people hoping for this kind of thing, and this is how I would do it. I've talked about it in a video before, so I'm just going to briefly go over it. What I would do is a 3v3 game 3 innings where the defense has a pitcher and 2 fielders. It's a smaller kind of field, so it's not actual dimensions, so you can traverse it. So, you only have 2 fielders, so it actually works. And then the other team has 3 batters. I think this is the best way to do it. If you had a 9v9, think about how much fun it would be to be the hitting team, and being, after you hit, there's 8 more guys. That takes a long time. If you think about the logistics of baseball, there's a lot of sitting around. I don't think a lot of people want to do that when they're trying to have fun with the video game. Some people might. I think it would be more fun if it's an action-packed kind of thing where somebody's always doing something for the most part. I don't think that's going to be added. Maybe for, the future, once we get onto the next generation, the 9th generation of consoles, it would be cool, something to think about, but I don't think it's going to happen. And that's going to do it for this video. That is 6 plus another additional features that I would love to see for Road to the Show. I believe a lot of these are very realistic and something we could actually see, especially the crib, the position changes, endorsement deals, no trade clause. I think those would all, especially those latter 3 I mentioned, would all be pretty easy to do. And then if we could get a new origin story, that's my big thing that I really want to see. As always, like I said, let me know down below in the comment section what new features you guys would like to see for Road to the Show. Let me know some stuff about your Road to the Show character. What's the most home runs that you've ever done? What's the most seasons that you've ever played? I personally think the most I've done is I'm on like my 3.5 season. I'm at that point right now. So if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to leave a like down below. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks, I'm out. Yeet.